Hello, teachers. Sometimes, do you feel like no matter what you do, some students are just not paying attention? Sometimes, some students look like they're focusing on you, but as the lesson proceeds, their attention drops. Well, I have some news for you all. It is not you. It is not them either. The average attention span of a human being is about 10 to 15 minutes. We have them in our classrooms for 40 minutes minimum. But the good news is that in this video, we show you 3 things that you could try that will help keep your students attentive, stay attentive for a longer time. The first tip is to break the whole lesson into small chunks. So now remember this, the average attention span of a student is anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. So to be safe, let's break our lesson into 4 small chunks of 10 minutes each. That way, at each part of the lesson, you have most of their attention. Now what you can do when you're going between one chunk to another is give a short 1-minute break. Here is how you can break your lesson into different chunks. You could start with something that they already know, that they're very familiar with, and give a break for a minute, and then go back and give the new information or the main learning of the day. And then again, a 1-minute break. And again, you could give them examples or practice time. Now this is a very important chunk of time. So the break that you give them before this must ensure that their minds are fresh for this part. And finally, you could again give a few seconds of a break and then end your lesson with a practical application of how they will use what they learned today. Now these breaks can be a maximum of 1 minute, but the shorter the better. So it is not the duration that makes their minds fresh, it is what they do in that break. You could either have them do a simple breathing exercise or just get up and do a stretch. You could have them solve a small riddle or a puzzle. You can get creative with what you want to do in this break time. But just ensure that it gives them an actual break so that when they're back into the lesson, you have their full attention for the next 10 minutes. The second thing you could do is try to engage all their senses. Try to have something that they can see, like a chart or a video, something that they can feel and play with, like models, blocks, maybe clay. If you're doing a lesson, you could give them clay and have them try to build a structure out of it. If it is a chemistry lesson, you can have them smell chemical reactions or even smell different objects and their properties. You could use simple call and responses and have videos or audios to engage most of their senses. You could also plan activities in your lesson that allows them to move around. For example, you could have your students form the structure of an atom with your classroom. The more you have activities for them to engage in, the more attentive and on task they will be throughout your lesson. The third and the last trick is to find a balance. A balance between what? Between things that they know and the things that they are yet to know. So as you can see in the image, a learner travels from what they can do on their own to what they can do with help to what they cannot even do. Right? This is how any learning experience can happen in a person's brain. Now, a good balance will be to stay in the middle. You bring a balance of things that they do know and bring a balance of things that they don't know, but they can do with your help. To do this, there are 2 or 3 things you could do. 1, always start your lesson from an easy topic and then move into a more difficult topic. Secondly, wait time. When you ask a question or when you give them a new piece of information, give a few seconds for their brains to process it and then respond to it. So you might ask a question, give a good 30 seconds, and then choose somebody to answer or have them answer. And lastly, give them plenty of practice, because now their brain is processing the information that they do know and connect it to information that they're just learning. So practice helps them find their comfort in all of this. A quick summary. There are 3 things we learned that we can do today to keep our students attentive throughout a lesson. First, break a whole lesson into small sizable portions, maybe of 10 minutes each, and give a few seconds to a minute worth of break between each chunk. This break refreshes their brain and helps them be active. Secondly, engage all senses. Usually, we choose one medium or at the most 2 mediums to deliver a lesson. Please be encouraged to try more than that. You could, if you are having a video already, you could also have or an activity where they can move around. If most of your lesson involves them sitting and listening to us and hearing us, then please plan for an activity where they can either look at something else or say something else, or at least try out a model or build something with blocks. So in your lessons, build a balance of different activities, have a variety of different activities that will engage most of their senses. And lastly, find the balance between what they already know and what they are yet to know. Your lesson shouldn't be too easy, but at the same time, it should not be so difficult that they don't know anything that's happening. This balance will help them keep their minds focused throughout the lesson. That's it for today. We hope you find these 3 tips useful. Do let us know in the comments below. Bye.